online at WPKYonline.com. 6 o'clock for the coaches show, 6:30 for the pregame show. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff from Tiger Stadium Friday night. Caldwell County and Mayfield. Don't miss it.
And good Friday morning to you.
Shout out to one of our own, Jeff McDowell. Jeff has given Trice
October 27th.
years as one of
Yeah, I did. October 20th. I had a daughter that had a birthday yesterday, so I knew the 26th, so the next day is 27th.
All right.
Just a beautiful morning here, but it may not last very much longer.
Well, we got to be optimistic. I believe it will. I believe it'll last.
At least till noon or 1 o'clock, hopefully.
Good day for ducks later on.
Yeah, might be. We want to send our congratulations out to the Caldwell County girls volleyball team on just a sensational season. They fell a little short last night against Henderson County in the finals of the regional volleyball tournament over at Katie's, and they don't have anything to be ashamed of because they were right there till the end.
When you play somebody like Henderson County and you're from a school our size as opposed to their size, they ought to be able to find enough in PE class to come and beat most people in the state. You know, that's the way I looked at things like that. So I thought our girls did a wonderful job.
They did, and of course Henderson County being a 6A school, and of course they have a tremendous team over there too. But I also saw where their first opponent at the state is the number one or one of the top teams in the nation, not just in the state, but in the nation. Isn't that right, Coach?
That's correct.
Henderson County's game you're talking about?
Yeah. Which is it? Louisville Mercy?
Assumption.
Louisville Assumption.
Yeah, they're not only rated in the state, they're rated in the nation.
Nation. I saw that.
Assumption's kind of like Trinity and St. X for girls.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Yeah, they're the top girls.
Todd said they had about 10 to 15 D1 players
On one team.
on one team.
And only, 6 can play at a time? Or 7? Is there 7 out there?
I don't know.
I don't know. I bet they all get out there, D1s.
Well, also named to the second region all-tournament team was Carly Peak, Olivia Mitchell, and Savannah Tays. Congratulations to those young ladies, as well as the all-region second all-seasonal play, Carly Peak and Taylor Whalum. So we want to send our congratulations out to those young ladies. The fall seasons are winding down. We're here, as I mentioned, October 27th. I guess football's the only sport. Well, the state soccer is this weekend, I believe, and, of course, the state volleyball next week. But this is the final week of the regular season in high school football, and we've talked about the weather every week so far, and we've had beautiful weather, but tonight may be a different story.
Well, you know, I've heard Griff talk about the weather all my life, and you know he's usually more correct than Channel 6. So maybe it won't come in and hurt us quite as bad as we're looking at it. It shows 100%, but I've seen it be 10% and rain 100%. So you never know.
Well, we hope that the weather can hold off, especially us having our, honoring our seniors here on senior night, and we always want a good crowd especially when you're playing opponents such as Mayfield. And I know Coach Barnes would like to have good weather, but this time of the year, you got to play in all elements, and we'll just have to take what's given to us and do the best we can.
Yeah, the crowd's the only thing that really bothered me on that part of it, because you never know, next week in our first playoff game we might have to play in that type of weather. Might give us a little input on it and the feel for it. So anyway, most kids like to play in that kind of stuff. Now coaches don't like it, but the kids like to get dirty and get out there and roll around. But
yeah, and we just hope that no one gets injured. Tonight's game is, of course, it's important. Every game's important, but it really doesn't mean that much. Next week is the beginning of a new season, and we've had such a great season this year so far, a 8-1 record, and who would have thunk it?
Those records don't come around at Caldwell very often. That's an awful good record right now.
And playing the caliber of teams that we've played.
Exactly.
And, it's just an amazing feat on the Caldwell County Tigers' part, and our congratulations once again goes out to Coach Barnes and his staff and those young men who's put forth the effort to get better each and every week. And We've seen a tremendous amount of improvement throughout the season, and hopefully it'll all come together tonight against a top-quality opponent who is no stranger to any of us around here, the Mayfield Cardinals.
Right. Well, we've talked about them improving, but, you know, kids improve week to week mainly because they get older. You know, these kids grow. You can't imagine how much, I'm sure David's noticed, some of them even grown this year already, you know, as far as size-wise and intelligent-wise on the football field. It just nothing better than experience. And so we've had some awful good games to get experience with this year.
And it's always an emotional night on senior night, especially when those young men who's played for 4 years, knowing that, of course, it's not going to be their last home game because we, you know, hopefully going to be home for several more weeks throughout the playoffs. But something special about senior night and having your parents down on the track. And, of course, I think they're going to do the introductions before the game. And, you know, it's just a special night.
Yeah, it really is. It always was a special night when we were out there doing it as well. I enjoyed going down and getting to shake the parents' hand one more time myself because you knew that might be it unless they had a younger brother playing. And most of them were, you know, excited about their kids being able to play the game, and we were excited about them playing for us. Every now and then you'd have one or two that was looking at you like, I'm sure glad he's out of your hands. But anyway, that works both ways too. But we know they're going to be excited tonight.
Well, we're really been looking forward to this game, and I know Coach Barnes has as well. And Coach, how did practice go this week?
Well, Monday we got rain and the field was really bad, so we just stayed in and watched film. We had 2 good days, Tuesday and Wednesday. Which at this time of year, that really doesn't hurt you. You know, we kind of back off on practice time as it is anyway. So, our film studies is important as on-field stuff. So we got a lot done.
Most of our players healthy. Is there any?
Well, we got, you know, but we held Will Bashir out last week or against Fort Campbell because of his ankle, and he practiced really good this week, so I think he'll be ready to go tonight. Ben Holt, you know, he hurt his back tree cannon game, and he's back. He practiced all week. He should be ready to go. And then yesterday, Dylan Kavanaugh had his ACL surgery, and that went really well, so hopefully we'll get him back on the field next year.
Good deal. That sounds like we've got some healthy team coming, and like I say, hopefully they'll stay that way for next week too.
Elaborate a little bit, Coach, on your seniors. It being senior night, and
you know, senior night, and you guys have been through it. Is you know, there are years where you got seniors that you get really, really close to, and there's years where you may not be as close as you were. It just depends a lot of times on those kids. And this is a really tight group of kids that are, you know, they're really close to the coaches, and they care about each other, and it's a group of kids that. The reason we're 8-1 is a lot of those seniors that we got on this football team. It's what their leadership has done, and you know, until you go through it as a parent, you really don't understand the significance of that last game. Even though it's not our last game, it's our last regular season game. And I can remember Will's last game. You know, it was an emotional time, and you know, it will be for some of these players. You know, Holly Van Hooser and Ben Van Hooser with Hunter tonight. They went through it with Drake, and they're going to go through it a few more years with Tate. So, and then you got Hunter tonight, and he needs 4 tackles to break the record for the most tackles in his career, and you know that's something to shoot for. And but that group of seniors has been a really good group. You look at the linebackers. You know, you got Mac Engelbright there as a linebacker. You got Will Bashir, linebacker. You got Dylan Gray, linebacker, and Hunter Van Hooser, linebacker, and all seniors. And you know, I think that's one of the reasons defensively we've been a lot better this year is their leadership.
And, you know, we got a senior dad in here with us. So it's going to be kind of emotional for you as well, Ty.
Very proud, and it is because that's my only boy. So, yeah. But he loves it, and just looking forward to tonight and all those. That's a special class of kids.
Go ahead.
I was just seeing if that was them calling in.
Yes, ma'am.
I forgot what I was going to ask you, David. Doggone it. I don't know. You had something. I forgot. I was going to ask him. I thought that was him calling.
The phone.
I thought it was.
We thought it was our guest
we thought
calling
it was,
in.
Joe calling in.
we are expecting Coach Joe Morris and hopefully his dad Jack Morris and Paul Leahy, former coaches there at Mayfield High, to call in and talk to us this morning a little bit. And this has developed into a long-time rivalry for us. I don't know how Mayfield looks at it, but we always have our kids pointing toward this game against Mayfield because it's a good measuring stick to see where you're at. And one thing about playing Mayfield, they're going to bring out your weaknesses and what you need to prepare for in future weeks ahead of you. So
I tell you what I remember now. No offense to you. We're getting older. What I was going to mention a while ago was, you talked about this senior night and the kids being their last game, not being their last game, because back when Gator and I first started, we had 2 playoff teams, or just one. And if you didn't make it, then your season was over. And so nowadays, though, they do have a little chance to shoot for an extra game or 2, and those kids get to play a few more weeks, and that means a lot to some of them.
With us, we've been able to play 4 more. The possibility of playing 4 more home games, and that's the last thing we pointed out yesterday when we finished up practice. We had those 10 seniors stand up and pointed them out and what they've done for our program. But it's not it. We got 4 more games possibly at home, and that's something to shoot for. I would like to mention one other senior, Adam Goodacre. He's one of those players that all of us have had that doesn't play a lot, but he never missed his practice. He's been there for 4 years and comes to the weight room and just works hard as he can. And he gets some playing time and not a lot, but he's there and he's been a big part of our team. And a lot of times those kids don't get recognized. But I really appreciate what Adam Goodacre's brought to our football team.
Well, his daddy Gary was in school when Gator and I were out there too, and of course Gary's done about anything he can to help the community. And as far as education-wise, he's almost too intelligent for me to talk to sometimes, but Gary's a fine person, and he was telling me one day when I was out at his house that his son loved football. He said he might not play a lot, but he said he loves the game and loves being around the kids, and I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you brought him up because it takes people like that keep the other kids going, that can see a man work that hard and not play a whole lot.
Yeah.
They see what the rest of them are doing. That's great.
It really is. Before I forget, I want to send some shout-outs. I was out and about this week. I had to go and get my physical and some annually, and some of the folks I ran into are loyal listeners to ours every Friday morning. So Margaret East out there at Dr. Settle's office, I want to give you a shout-out. Laura Beth Wynn out here at Walmart, she gave me my shingle shot. My arm is itching, Laura Beth. I want you to know that. Brenda Pepper out here at Fortner's, she said they listen to it each and every Friday. And final but not least, Kevin Free Baby Freeman.
Oh, my goodness.
Free Baby listens he won't know who you're going to have on in the morning. So we want to give shout-outs to those people.
We thank him.
He just wanted to sell you some pork.
He does. We're going to take a short commercial break. We've got our guest online with us, so you're listening to Tiger Sports Talk on 104 or 103.3 FM, The Tiger.
New car buyers, listen up. We need to move our new car and truck inventory fast, and we need your trade. At Trice Hughes Incorporated, we know the dollar is tight, but there's never been a better time to buy a new vehicle. With fantastic rebates, low rates, awesome trade allowance, and 7 American car lines to choose from, Trice Hughes Incorporated is sure to fit you with the perfect vehicle at a price that's pleasing. And as always, if we don't have what you want on our lot, we'll find it for you. Don't go out of town for a good deal. Stay in town for a great deal. Trice Hughes Incorporated, where your trade is worth more. Trice Hughes in Princeton would like to give a big shout out to one of our own, Jeff McDowell. Jeff has given Trice Hughes 34 years as one of our top service technicians, and General Motors thinks so also, as they selected Jeff in the top 20 service technicians out of over 7,000 in the Southeast region. We are so proud of you, Jeff. The extra time and dedication it takes to achieve this honor speaks volumes about him. Trice Hughes Incorporated offers top-notch service on all your GM and Chrysler vehicles by certified technicians Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Call 270-365-5522 for your appointment today. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
Back here at Tiger Sports Talk at WPKY 103.3 FM, The Tiger. We've got on the line with us some very special guests this morning. We've got Coach Joe Morris, the head coach of the Mayfield Cardinals. Welcome to the show, Joe. Joe, are you there?
He's not there right now. He was a second ago.
He's already quit.
No, I'm gonna hang up. Is he able to monitor us? Do you have him? Do you give him the website?
Yeah,
Text
he
him,
has.
Have him call back because he was there. He is not.
He's your guest. You get him.
You just text him and have him call back. Let's talk just a minute.
I'll tell you what, Shane Murphy, I've got your headphones, boy, and you better quit stringing these together so much. I about choked me to death. I can't get them loose.
Text him and tell him
I
to
did.
call back.
I put on
You
there.
do a good job over here, Shane. So what
And tell him I'm just gonna flip the switch.
Tide tells me.
There he is.
There we go. Let's try this.
Shane Murphy.
There he is.
Coach Joe Morris, are you there? Well, we're having some technical
I have no idea
difficulties
why
this
he's not
morning.
there.
Well, I hope it's just technical and not tonight.
Ask him if his phone's muted because.
Is your phone muted? Well,
Yeah, because he should be.
I'll have to text him on.
Yeah. Let's take another break and we'll come back.
Okay.
And once you call him, we'll see what's going on.
Play a little Kentucky Rain.
Oh yeah, we might just do that. There he is. Let me just answer. Are you there, Coach? You can hear us. You should be going out over the air. So I'm going to try to flip this again, okay? And see if you can't get on it. You might check and see if your phone's muted, okay? If in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Well, I'm going to flip this up and we'll try to get you there. Here, you should be there. Thank you, sir.
I'm afraid to ask, are you there, Joe?
He's not there.
He's not there.
I don't know what's going on because did a ball.
Well, he's calling in.
Yeah, he is.
Is there any other?
No, I tell you, there's a way that we might can do this here in just a second. Have him. Let's take a break and we'll come back.
All
He
right.
says he can hear us. So
Yeah, he can hear us, but I can't get him. He's not going out over there.
we'll make something
We'll come
good
back
up
here
and
in just
talk
a second.
about him.
Yep, and we'll come back and hang on, Coach. We'll come back and let's take another break. We'll come back.
The 2018s are here. All 2017s have to go. Every brand we carry, every Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram truck has been marked down. 0% financing for 72 months or up to $10,000 off some models. Come by Trice Hughes or call 270-365-5522. You can also shop at tricehughes.com. Why haven't you given Trice a try? It's easy. Call today 270-365-5522 or stop by for a great deal today. Give Trice a try.
It's that time of year again. Soon leaves will be falling. Football and deer season is right around the corner. When those little critters get stirring around, sometimes our vehicles get in their way. When that happens, Trice Incorporated hopes you remember our body shop to get you back on the road. We offer free estimates, 3-stage paint process that is guaranteed as long as you own your vehicle, and certified technicians that together offer 120 years of combined experience. We keep rental vehicles readily available, so even if your car is out of commission, you don't have to be. Trice Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton. New car buyers, listen up. We need to move our new car and truck inventory fast, and we need your trade. At Trice Incorporated, we know the dollar is tight, but there's never been a better time to buy a new vehicle. With fantastic rebates, low rates, awesome trade allowance, and 7 American car lines to choose from, Trice Incorporated is sure to fit you with the perfect vehicle at a price that's pleasing. And as always, if we don't have what you want on our lot, we'll find it for you. Don't go out of town for a good deal. Stay in town for a great deal. Trice Incorporated, where your trade is worth more.
Back here at Tiger Sports Talk at 93.3 FM, we got a little buzzing going on. Joe, are you there? I can barely hear you, Joe.
I can hear you fine.
Hey, we got you, Joe.
Got me now?
Yeah, I don't know how he's got it rigged up over here, but he's got it rigged up.
Okay.
I can hear Joe. Joe's on. Joe, welcome to the show, buddy. I'm sorry about all of our technical difficulties here, but
Just say there's somebody else there to fix it.
Well, hey, we're just messing with you to start the day, so don't get too mad tonight.
I got you.
Hey, I think David was fixing to go over there and start messing with the controls a little bit.
I was going to keep the robot.
Hey, we appreciate you calling, Joe. We know it takes your time to do that, but we appreciate you calling in, buddy.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Well, we sure do. And once again, you got another outstanding football team over at Mayfield. It's no surprise to any of us, but we've got a pretty good one here too as well. Both teams are sitting here at 8-1, and really been looking forward to this game tonight. But it looks like there may be some elements that we may have to deal with later on.
Yeah, that's just part of it. And like you said, David's got another good team over there at Caldwell County, and they're, probably one of the best defensive teams he's had, in a while. They're very good defensively. They're two great linebackers. I mean, they got that Van Hooser guy. I think he's been there for about 8 years now. So I think
that goes way back to when even his daddy played here for us.
Yeah,
long line of Van Hoosers. Yeah.
But they got a great team. Their defensive front's good. Of course, two really good corners, and it should be a great game. This, the last I know the last couple of times we've been over there, we won on the last second field goal, and then the year before that, or the last 2 years ago, we went over there. It was 48-41 in another great game that Caldwell won. So it's going to be, it should be a great game. And like you said, I wish the rain would hold off, but hey, that's. We talked about it, when you get to the playoffs, sometimes you got to play in some elements, so you might as well, hey, it's a good practice for them.
Hey, Joe, I was just going to tell you, when you're talking about Van Hooser kid, his granddaddy was Richie Hughes.
Oh, he was?
Yeah,
okay.
You remember Richie?
Yeah.
He coached here with us with Gator and I for a long time.
Yeah. Yes, sir. But, he's a good one now. He's a great linebacker and plays. I think he had one played Murray, a couple years ago. Was at Murray State. I don't know if he's still there or not, but I know both those kids were really good football players.
Well, Joe, tell us a little bit about your team. You've got a good football team, and I know you've only got one loss. I believe Corbin, and y'all played, and they're ranked highly in Class 4A, I believe, or 3A. They're in 3A.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
And you played them over at Austin P, I believe, back earlier in the season.
Well, we've come a long way. With our quarterbacks. We lost an all-time leading quarterback here, yardage-wise and touchdown-wise. In Landon Arnett, and of course in our all-time leading rusher and Trajan Bright. Which says a lot here because we have a long history of really good running backs over here, and he broke the record for most yards in a career. So we had a lot of holes to fill, but we're playing we're still playing a little two quarterback system, and Jaden Stinson and Connor Guthrie. Connor's a little more athletic, Jaden, but they both complement each other very well. Connor's one of the best athletes we got. We put him at receiver. He's a safety for us. Those guys have come a long way. Our offensive line, has been steady. We did after the Corbin game. Got a couple beat up in the Corbin game. That it was a great game. We lost 20-17, but it was a very good football game, very physical football game. But we were beat up. So then we had a little time off with the break. Come back with our district. We handled our district well, and our kids are playing hard. They're having fun playing. It's a great group to coach. We got some really good players. We still got to get better. Just if we need to get where we need to be. But it's a fun group to coach, and we're hopefully can handle Caldwell County tonight, and get on a roll here in the playoffs. And hey, we're going to try to bring another state championship back to Mayfield. That's our goal anyway.
Sounds like a good goal. Joe, looks like to me every time I've watched you on TV or whenever I get to see you, it looks like you all do an excellent job of not only play calling, but I'm talking about offense now, but you have a good system set up, and even at halftime, it looks like you make a lot of good adjustments, and so Have you got anything special that you do for that, or do you all just kind of get along real well as far as coaches and get together and say, look, here's what we need to try, and if that doesn't go, we go something else?
Well, we the biggest thing we do is we chart our plays, I think, and at halftime we'll go back and we say, we look at, any play over, any play that goes over 10 yards, or I think it's every play over 8 yards, we kind of highlight and say, hey, we need to make sure we get back at that one. That one worked. And then, of course, I do have a great staff. Cliff Dew, my defensive coordinator, has been here for a long while now. We get along great. He makes great adjustments on the defensive side of the ball. He's calm, and I kind of let him take care of all that. And he does a great job with that. We'll discuss a few things at halftime, but the whole staff is. I think the whole staff is on the same page. We got, I got a lot of experience on the staff. I got Don Cody, who's was a long-time head coach at Martin Westview. I got Mike Rogers, who was head coach at Graves County. He was a head coach at Warren Central.
Oh, Lord, you got
Tillman.
Mike Rogers.
And then we got, I got Stephen Hatchell's offense coordinator, Cliff Dew, Chris Champion, who played here for us, Todd Hatchell, who was, an all-state center at Graves County, but he's been coaching with us here for a lot of years with our line. So, I'm very fortunate to have a great staff and a great administration that allows me to hire some coaches. All those guys right there are teachers. They're around the kids, around the school, and they're good with the kids. And, our kids, they enjoy the kids, and the kids enjoy them, and that makes for a good mixture.
Well, just look to me like you all do a great job and get along well. That means a whole lot. Like you said, you have a lot of people that have been with you for a long time, and you don't come to school one day and look at a new face very often, and that means a whole lot when you're coaching football.
And there's no doubt about it, and we're very fortunate to have that. And,
is Anthony still around? Anthony Hatchell, is he still around helping you in?
Anthony's not coaching with us anymore. He'll be there. I guarantee you, he'll be there tonight. He's at every game. I think he's being a granddad and kind of enjoying life right there. And his folks up there, they're in Shelbyville, Kentucky, in Shelby County. They're not in the best of health, so he took some time off so he can spend some time with them. So, but Anthony's a great coach as well, and I got two of his boys on the staff, so he'll be there tonight, I guarantee you.
Well, I just wanted to say one thing, and I'll lay off of it, Joe. Was of course back when I played, that's tons of years ago. Got to play, and your dad was coaching, and you all have stayed together and run this. You've changed programs when you had to, and it used to be we'd go over there and we'd maybe 20 or 17 to 10 game or whatever, and nowadays it's 80 to 80 or whatever. But you all have adjusted well with whatever it takes to make things go, and that's really appreciated on my part because I loved football too, and it was a good deal to watch you guys continue to win. Most people around here, when you hear Mayfield, they almost throw up. But I did take the time to appreciate what all you all did, and I know for over the years you all have done great. And when I was a senior, I've told you before, I got to play an all-star game, which I was hurt really. My back hurt my back. Got lucky and still got to go. But your dad was my coach, and he got me in the game whether I really needed to be or not, and I'll never forget that as long as I live.
I've been very fortunate here, and we've been very fortunate to have great players. My job here when I took over was just, to try to keep, the tradition going and winning football games. And, it wasn't an easy transition. You followed my dad and Paul Leahy after that, who coached for about, I think, 8 years there. And won a couple state championships, and now it's my, here comes my turn, and they expect you to win state championships pretty quick around here.
Sure.
So and there's coaching. There's always ups and downs in coaching. You're only as good as your last year, your last game.
Yeah.
And it's awful almost, but
You're right. Everybody thinks that it's going to be a given that you're there, but they don't understand how many hours and what all you all put in over the summers and everywhere else to keep things going. And it's not easy. Anybody can lose all the time, but boy, winning once you start winning, it's contagious and it's hard.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to win, but like you said, there's a lot of hard work. Just because we run out there with Mayfield across the jersey, teams aren't going to lay down, and that's what we try to tell our kids. We go out there, hey, we got a bullseye every Friday night because of the success that we've had that we've had for a long time over here. And, people beat Mayfield sometimes, it can make their season. So we're going to take everybody's best shot. And, that's not the easiest thing in the world to do, but, we like it. It's a fun thing. We got a great, like I said, our kids expect to win. They like to play football. And, we got a great community that supports it, just like, people in Princeton. I know they're going to show up out there tonight. I remember going up there a couple years ago. I think we were undefeated, and I think Caldwell County was undefeated. And we pull up there about an hour before the game. The bleachers were already full. So I know football means a lot there in Caldwell County as well, and Mayfield. So I encourage people to come out. I think it's going to be a great game tonight.
I got one more thing, Gabriel.
Go ahead.
You can have it.
I don't.
He doesn't let me talk most of the time.
I'm glad you are talking.
I'm done all talking today. But I'll never forget one time when we were down at Western when I was playing there, and Jimmy Fikes came out. We all wanted to change uniforms. We were sick of looking at all that old two stripes and all that. He said, those people they get excited when they see them two stripes on their shoulders and two stripes on the pants and all that. So we could never change uniforms. I kind of appreciate the fact that you all never have either. You just stay with the red jerseys and the white pants and put it on and go kick somebody in the hind end. That's the way to do it.
People always tell me, we need to get a black helmet. We need to put a cardinal on our helmet and stuff like that. And I said, there's going to be a red helmet with a red face mask as long as I'm here. I said, after I quit, somebody else can change it. But I think we come out of that tunnel with a black helmet on. I think our people they'd fire me like that.
You did go to some black pants. I did notice.
We got some black pants.
I know. Yeah.
That's the biggest change that we've had in a long time. We wear the black pants tonight because it's muddy. White pants sometimes are hard to get clean.
Exactly. Was you able to get your dad out this morning, or?
No, he couldn't make this morning.
Okay.
He's
drinking coffee somewhere.
He's a retired guy. He don't get up to about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and then he goes up to the coffee shop and tells all those guys tell me how to coach. So, that's his.
Hey, we were talking earlier before we came on the air that we had Kenny Barrett in here a couple of weeks ago when we had our Hall of Fame inductions, and it would have been hilarious to have Jack and him both in here to tell some of the old stories that back in the day when they were coaching. I'm sure they got plenty to tell.
That'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
You get you and all your old guys.
No, it's always a player. Normally,
call Craig up.
Craig. Yeah. Normally when I drop by to see you over there in the field house, he's normally sitting there in your office reading the racing form. Getting ready to watch the ponies run.
I wish I can't afford that.
Joe, I got to ask you this one question. You lost a very dear friend and someone close to the Mayfield Cardinal football program this past year in Robert Barclay. Tell us a little bit about what he meant to Mayfield football.
Well, Robert was first of all, Robert was, when I first started playing football in the 4th grade, Robert was my coach, and he's of course he's a successful business owner at Barclay Metals, a great business here in Mayfield, and they've supported our program for years. And Robert would take time off his business right there and leave at 3 o'clock, and then he'd start coaching our middle school. And he coached it for 44 years, and Pat had developed a brain tumor and passed back in it was.
Back in springtime, I believe.
Back in the spring. Yeah, and this past spring, you can't find a guy in Mayfield. There's a thing what Robert did for people around here. He helped so many kids, whether it was just taking them, across the street and get them something to eat. Buying a kid that couldn't afford a pair of cleats, he'd take them go buy a pair of cleats for them. And yeah, there were so many things that Robert did that people really didn't even, that didn't know. And Robert had a great sense of, when, hey, this kid wasn't having a good day, and he could pull that, little 7th or 8th grader out and talk to them and keep them pumped up about football and about school and keeping people, just keeping their attitude in the right direction. What a great man. It's today, it's one thing that we made this little plaque for him, or it's, Robert's still the only guy that's coached every state championship player that we've ever had. Robert's coached somebody on that team because, he started way back in 1971 or something like that, coaching, or 1972, I think he started coaching, and he coached that. So every state championship player that we've ever had come through here, he was part of it. Sorely missed. We just a great man, and we lost a great fan and a great coach and a great person there when we lost Robert back in April.
I know he always enjoyed coming up here to Princeton and playing in our coaches' golf scramble every year.
Yeah, he did.
He did. And he always brought a dozen golf balls or something to give away as a prize. And, and we really didn't rely on out-of-town people doing stuff like that.
Robert was a great player here. He went to SEMO, and, he's, like I say, he's just been in this community and been a good person in this community for a lot of years. And, he loved football. Mayfield was his first, obviously, but he loved football. He'd go up on Saturday and watch UK play. Of course, his boy played for UK up there as a walk-on quarterback. He was a quarterback here for a lot of years. And, his boys are doing great things, too. They're great people. It's just a great family, and Robert's sorely missed, that's for sure.
Well, Joe, I know how much he meant to you and to that program, and y'all are honoring him this season, I know. And, we got Coach Barnes here in the studio with us. Is there anything you'd like to discuss with him before tonight's game? You want the game plan?
Just make sure he takes it easy on us tonight. We're Coach Barnes is a good friend of mine, and we've been around a long time. I just hope he stays in coaching for a long time, because won't make me the oldest coach around here.
Well, you're getting on up there, man.
As long as he and Craig stay, I'm still the youngest.
Do you think Craig will ever retire?
They might make him after this year.
No, Craig's not going to retire. No way.
No, he's a lifer now. And Fred, his dad was the same way. He kept coaching up till he was in his 80s. He might not have been on the field, but he was still coaching. He was coaching Craig.
Well, you know what? I think, it's kind of like my dad. My dad just turned 80 this year, and he comes to every game, and I guarantee he's up there coaching every minute.
Oh yeah.
And
Coach Slay,
once in blood, it ain't gonna get out. That's for sure.
I guess him and Coach Leahy both does it. Coach Leahy still go to all the games, and
he does, right? Coach Leahy come, yes. Yeah, he does. He's been to several games this year. Coach Leahy usually doesn't make the away games. He's usually there, at the home games, and he's enjoying it. And like I say, but he's doing well, and
And your brother David, I guess he's doing fine. And he calls the games, right, on the radio?
Yeah, he'll be there tonight calling the ball game, and he works with Vince Dawson at WYMC there. But
he doesn't give you a hard time, does he?
Well, I never listen to the replay, so I don't know, and don't want to.
I don't blame you.
Everybody says he does a good job, so that's it. And they don't say a whole lot about Vince, but they say David does a pretty good job.
Well, good. Well, Coach, we sure appreciate the time you've taken to call in to us today, and once again, we apologize for our difficulties here getting you on, and we know that it's going to be an outstanding game tonight, and I know Mayfield's going to bring a great crowd. They always do, and just because the weather elements may enter into it, that won't keep them from coming. So we want a big crowd to show up tonight at the game, and to see two of the probably best football teams in West Kentucky tonight.
That's what they make coats, raincoats, and umbrellas for.
That's exactly
And press
right.
boxes.
What do you say?
You only can get so many in a press box, can't you?
Hey, I'm gonna. If it rains too hard, I'll go up there.
Oh, no. Well, Coach, once again, thank you and best of luck, and we hope to see you tonight.
All right. See you, Pat. Thanks
Take
for having
care.
me.
We've been talking to Joe Morris, the head football coach at Mayfield High School. We're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. You're listening to Tiger Sports Talk on 103.3 FM, The Tiger.
Trice Hughes in Princeton would like to give a big shout out to one of our own, Jeff McDowell. Jeff has given Trice Hughes 34 years as one of our top service technicians, and General Motors thinks so also, as they selected Jeff in the top 20 service technicians out of over 7,000 in the Southeast region. We are so proud of you, Jeff. The extra time and dedication it takes to achieve this honor speaks volumes about him. Trice Hughes Incorporated offers top-notch service on all your GM and Chrysler vehicles by certified technicians Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Call 270-365-5522 for your appointment today. Trice Hughes Incorporated, Highway 91 North in Princeton.
The 2018s are here. All 2017s have to go. Every brand we carry, every Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, and Ram truck has been marked down. 0% financing for 72 months or up to $10,000 off some models. Come by Trice Hughes or call 270-365-5522. You can also shop at tricehughes.com. Why haven't you given Trice a try? It's easy. Call today, 270-365-5522, or stop by for a great deal today. Give Trice a try.
Back here at Tiger Sports Talk at 103.3 FM, The Tiger. We're visiting with Coach Joe Morris of the Mayfield Cardinals, and appreciate him taking time out to call in this morning. And I think Ty's got everything fixed now over there.
It was kind of like I was telling you, Star Wars fans, like fixing the hyperdrive on the Millennium Falcon. Will Brown said, "What's going on?" He texted in, and I said, "Man, I'm just doing my work."
It's just one of those days,
It's one of
isn't
those
it?
days, but
Sometimes
we
you
got it
have
worked out.
We made it.
Had
We
to do a little switching around here, but we can do it.
right.
The good luck Will Brown voice took care of it.
That's what it was.
There are a couple of announcements we need to make in regards to tonight's game. Kim Farmer has asked us to tell all season ticket holders that she will be in the press box at halftime of the game selling next week's playoff tickets for the Hart County game. Now keep in mind that game will be played at 7:30 p.m. and not 7 p.m. These are for reserved chairback seats.
Right.
Yes.
Holders.
Yes, and I believe they're $10.
$10.
$10 for next week's games, and she's going to go ahead and start selling them tonight. And I'm sure you can go out next week at the high school and pick them up as well. And of course now, we're in the playoffs. Things change, and if you season ticket holders with chairback seats don't take them, then someone can buy them. So make sure you take care of that and go out and see Kim Farmer tonight at halftime in the press box or next week at the high school. Coach, the game's going to be played next week with Hart County Raiders. They're called the Raiders, I believe.
That's right.
And they got a pretty far piece to travel.
I used to say sit a little over 2 hours.
Yeah. That's the furthest I travel on with my job is Hart County and Caverna. That going, that way.
They got in your helmets?
No, they don't have that
Well,
much. Now
they'll probably
Caverna
beat
does.
us then.
Caverna's right next to them, which is Horse Cave, and they are Mumfordville. And
Maybe they ride down together.
they probably could get a bus together.
Caverna's going to Crittenden, so.
That's
Hart
right.
County
Hey, and
coming
we want
up.
to send our congratulations out to Al Starnes.
Yeah.
Al won the district championship. They defeated Russellville High last Friday night in Marion, I think 22-21.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to go out as a district champ in his final season is just a great accomplishment for him and the Crittenden County Rockets. Couldn't happen to a better man.
I totally agree with that.
I told Ty earlier, when my dad was the associational missionary here, we moved from Missouri to Kentucky and I went to first grade at Munfordville. Then we moved here.
What do you remember
Here
about
in the second grade, I remember that I had to walk home every day from school, and I drug my feet. And my daddy, as a preacher, almost beat me half to death because they were brand new shoes and I ruined them.
That's what you remember.
And then I said, Dad, you need to pray for me. Don't be beating on me like that. But he didn't. Then the time when I said, "Oh God," he looked at me and said, "Son, you better call on somebody you know." And then after that, I just let it go.
Oh Lord, only DT. Well, just a few more topics to talk about. Last night's game, the Baltimore Ravens and the Miami Dolphins wasn't much of a game, was it? 40-0, but you got to listen to one outstanding commentator. I think you got a few choice words.
Well, I don't understand. Of course, I didn't like Dallas, and of course, Cray Lewis always was mad at me for not liking Dallas. But Tony Romo, to me, he went to one playoff game the whole time he was there. He had big numbers, but they only go one time. Now he's trying to tell everybody what to do. If he could have done it, he would have been still playing. But that's pitiful when you sit there and, well, now it's third down. They need to be running to this corner, doing that. I get tired of hearing all that. Of course, I guess that's their job now. You know, I don't know. Deion Sanders, he got on there and started talking about when the quarterback got knocked out, you know, and put him out of the game. That was the quarterback's fault. He shouldn't have slid that late. And that boy didn't hit him with his helmet, hit him with his knee. Anyway, that's my concern. I enjoy getting ill like that. And now I can stir some people up in town.
They got their opinions, and, you know, you got yours.
That's right.
Everybody's got their own opinions about it, but there wasn't much. I think Stanford had to come from behind last night to beat Oregon State, and it was a joy watching. We were talking about Oregon State's interim head coach, I guess, on the sideline.
He was happy man.
He was. He kind of reminded me of me kind of back in the day,
running
up and down the sideline.
You look like you shooting 3-pointers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
but he was. I don't know if I would have been playing for him. I don't know if I would have known he was mad at me or happy or what. He was just going crazy the whole night. But then they had won one game.
One game.
And that was his first game, right? As head coach?
I believe.
Interim.
The head coach, I think, resigned during the season.
But, you know, you'd rather see a guy like that than all these sourpuss sitting over there just looking at each other doing nothing.
Yeah. There are some big games on tap for this weekend. Of course, you got the in-state or bordering state rivalry between Kentucky and Tennessee, played in Lexington this weekend, and I think Kentucky is a slight favorite in that game, and just saw yesterday, or day before yesterday, that Tennessee suspended their best running back on offense, and he was the only offense they've had, I think, for the last. They hadn't scored a touchdown.
And that wasn't much, was it?
I don't think they've scored a touchdown last 3 weeks, and you know, they've been struggling, and of course, Bush Jones is on the chop block. You know. He's on the hot seat as well, I believe. So, you know, that should be an interesting game. And a couple of our local products, the Purdue Boilermakers, they play at home this weekend against Nebraska Cornhuskers. And I believe, do you know the time? Is that 11 o'clock game our time?
I don't know. I can look it up here real quick. I'll try to search for it.
Of course, Elijah Sindelar is starting quarterback and for the Purdue Boilermakers, and they lost a close game last week, I believe, at Rutgers. And then we also got D. Kane down here at Western. That's they play Florida Atlantic.
Let's see about Purdue here.
One other thing, I fell asleep the other night. What about your boys out in Los Angeles? They were about to win, weren't they?
It was a heck of a game. It was a weird game. It looked like, of course, early on, it looked like Houston was going to win, and then L.A. came back, and then Houston came back. I turned it off in the ninth inning.
Oh, did you?
Yeah,
Wasn't it an extra inning game?
It went 11 innings, and it was tied 3-3 at the end of 9. And I just thought, well, they're going to get beat 4-3. I think it wound up 7-6.
Yeah,
they started hitting home
or
runs.
8-7 or something.
Yeah,
that Purdue game's a 6:30 game.
Okay,
it's an evening game, and
Big Ten Network, I believe.
Yeah, and then let's see, 7:30 Eastern, so that's 6:30 Central. So yeah,
right. And I think our youth football league is winding down the season. I know last Friday night they had a really close game between the two local teams, and I believe our 3rd and 4th graders go to Crittenden County tomorrow
Yeah, and they're going to recognize those kids tonight, I think, at
Right,
halftime.
at halftime.
Yeah, so they're going to be out there at the Tiger Stadium tonight.
We got a lot going on at halftime.
We got
tonight, period, don't we?
Yeah, we got ticket sales at halftime. We're going to, of course,
Parents at the first of the game.
the senior recognition for the players and the parents, as well as, are they recognizing all the fall sports?
And the senior thing will be
The band?
the band,
Cheerleaders?
football, cheerleaders. Golf didn't have but one kid. She wasn't a senior, so that'll be it.
Okay. And soccer, they do
They
theirs.
do theirs at soccer.
Yeah, they do theirs at their last home soccer
And
game.
they're also going to recognize the chain guys that have done it for many years.
Oh, yeah.
Johnny Stone, who's done the clock for almost 50 years.
Yeah, Johnny
They're going to
Stone.
recognize him tonight as well.
I want to give a shout out too. You reminded me to Sue and Johnny.
Yes,
they
the volleyball,
yeah,
streaming
they
it, did a
our
wonderful
volleyball
job.
Games past few days, and then we did another one. So thank you to them. They do a fantastic job. Their heart's there. They're passionate about it
Yeah.
and build a.
Johnny tells it like it is, though,
Oh
doesn't
yeah,
he?
and it's a solid foundation. Caldwell County volleyball with Sue and Johnny.
Yeah, and you mentioned the chain keepers, and of course, I can go back when I first came here, Dick Tucker, for a long time,
Yeah.
and Billy Scott, and Red Ryder, Hammonds, and and then of course you've had Philip Sisk and Bob Hayes,
Bob's gone to the radio now. So
Fred Folks.
He moved up, didn't
he moved up.
Yeah,
Ken Rogers.
Stump.
Yeah.
I think.
Fred Folks carries it
Fred Folks.
sometimes.
Yeah.
And Perkins.
And
Jerry
Jerry Perkins.
Perkins.
Jerry Perkins has been around a long.
Donald McGregor's helping them.
Dono McGregor. There's a bunch of them, and of course,
And it's pressure. Because I
Oh,
remember
yeah.
when my son was playing middle school football and they looking around trying to find a chain gang, I was running. I didn't want to do it.
That's
but
right.
I kept the film, though.
It's
I
tough.
did that for Perkins.
and you as a coach and an athletic director know how vital those people are, and to get them to do that each and every year, it's just.
It's the way it is with us. Philip Sis takes care of it. I don't have to bother with it.
Boy,
So
right.
That's
he
great.
takes care of getting it all lined up.
Well, we want to give Philip a big shout out then, and thanks for all he does, and as well as all those chain keepers and clock management people. And it takes a lot to go into, management of a football game. And I know you want to give a big shout out to Kim Farmer. She just does a wonderful job.
If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be able to do this job. She takes care of me in the fall, and with me doing football, and we got a lot going on in the fall. She's somewhere
yeah.
almost every night, and she's just a big help.
Yeah, used to be years ago, the spring had the most sports back when we were in school. But now, the fall. Used to be in fall, all you had was football.
Yeah.
And, back before soccer became available, and volleyball and golf. See, golf was
Golf was in the
always
spring,
Golf
yeah.
was in the spring when I was in high school. And
E.T. was my coach.
so,
See where he is
With
now.
Coach G, too.
Now we're just both talking about it. We
Yeah.
can't neither one of us play.
yeah.
No.
Now, one other thing we need to mention too. We had somebody mention about the band on the stream.
Yes.
That they weren't showing the band at
Larry
halftime
Kerman
on the
mentioned
stream.
that
Larry
to
mentioned
me.
somebody had mentioned to him that they didn't show the band instead of just showing Bob and Dennis. But
Dennis.
the reason being the band didn't play last game.
Right, not last game, but we've been making an effort to
Yes,
show the
they
band.
do show them,
And
so.
and we appreciate our band of pride and what they do, what they bring to the atmosphere of Tiger Stadium. So yeah, if the band's performing, you're going to see the band on the stream.
Well, and we want to encourage everyone to come out tonight. But if they're unable to come due to the elements, then
Well, yeah.
tune in and view it live stream on WPKY 103.3. And I do know that Paducah WPSD is going to be here as well. But
Yeah, it's the game of the week.
it's
for
the
them.
game of the week, and it'll be on their 6.2, I believe. Is that
Yeah, that's right. Their alternate channel.
their alternate
Yeah.
channel there? And of course, if you got DirecTV, you can't get it. If you got
I think
Dish,
on
you
Dish,
can.
yeah.
And I think even if you got cable
I
video
don't know
or
about Mediacom.
Mediacom, I think you might be able to get
I
it.
think you can. Mm-hmm.
So,
Best
be an-
thing to do, weather the storm and go on to the game.
that's right. Get you an umbrella, a poncho.
It's gonna be a good night.
It's going to be a good night. And of course, it's right here, just in the last hour.
It's gotten cloudy.
It has gotten
It's
cloudy.
cloudy.
It was beautiful when we woke. Wasn't a cloud in the sky.
Well, just an hour ago.
Yeah.
One last congratulations to the senior parents. You all have put in a lot of time, and it's gone in about 20 seconds. It's already out of here. So congratulations to you and your youngsters.
And you always look back and where have my babies gone? You know, they were just babies just a short time ago, and
the majority of these parents that are up there tonight played for us. That's how old we are.
Exactly. And I can remember a lot of those parents being younger, you know, like our kids' age. And now I've got a 37-year-old. You know, I woke up yesterday and had a 37-year-old. And, you know, how can a man just 40 years old have a 37-year-old?
It'd be bad. It'd be worse if you didn't wake up, though.
That's right. That's right. Any last comments or before we close shop?
I
believe that's it.
Thank you all for listening. Hope you enjoyed it.
We appreciate all of our
Thanks
listeners and viewers.
Thanks to Joe Morris for calling in. He runs a fine program. He's a fine person.
He is. And the whole Morris family. And, of course, it's going to be an exciting game tonight. We want everyone to come out. And, of course, after tonight, we start a new season beginning next week. It's the road to the playoffs. So we want to once again thank everyone for tuning in and listening and viewing over the live stream. Tune in again next Friday morning at 8 a.m. for Tiger Sports Talk with Gator and DT.
ABC News, I'm Brad Milkey. The Me Too revolution hits